Welcome to Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV. It's brought to you today by Mid-Missouri Bank, by Mercy, Ginger's Wellness, and also by Jacket Nation Sports. We're going to be talking volleyball today with Coach Jenny Collins and some of her Volley Jackets. They're off to a great season. We're at Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. Lunch provided by Mel's. So Jacket Talk Overtime is coming up next on LEB TV. And we are back on Jacket Talk Overtime with Coach Jenny Collins. Lebanon Volleyball is on the spotlight today on our show from Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. Great start for your volleyball squad here in 2024. They kind of lived up to preseason expectations to this point.
Yeah, we, had a busy summer, competed well over the summer months, and I really think stepping into the season, we set some pretty high goals, which I expected and know that these kids can reach. And so, we just take it one day at a time. We've been, really kind of committing ourselves to the practice time that we get in the gym and working to be better. And I think so far our efforts are starting to kind of pay off. It's been a good start.
What was your initial reaction when you found out that Lebanon was going to go to the Central Ozark Conference for volleyball?
Well, it's definitely a great conference. It's a big conference. We already had Republic and Willard on our regular schedule. Nixa, we'd been playing them for some years prior, also in the regular season. And then we saw teams like Webb City, Joplin in tournament play usually. So it's not a completely different schedule because we'd seen them at some point already.
Well, talk about the squad numbers, the numbers out for your volleyball program, 9 through 12.
Yeah, we've got 31 girls. We've got 12 freshmen, I think 7 sophomores and 5 juniors and 6 seniors. Group of 4 great managers. So we're running about 35 in our program this year.
Was there any adjustment to style of play, structure-wise, offense and defense going into the season from previous?
We still, I think, we want to have a great, defensive kind of mindset, really embrace the defensive grind because, without, I think, having a solid defense, it just doesn't allow us to be very successful on the offensive end. So I think strategy and things like that, a lot of times I just try to focus on us and ourselves and the things that we need to do well instead of getting, too overly wrapped up about what each opponent's going to bring. Yes, we, look at scout videos and things like that and kind of try to prepare for games in a way that we can, defend them the best way possible. Why sometimes that can be hard when you play back to back with maybe one game off and then play again. So our time to prepare is very limited. But at the end of the day, we really just try to focus in on what we need to do to be successful and, what are we going to do to teams to, pull them out of system and hopefully kind of be on the more successful end.
As you look back to last season, what did you and the coaching staff assess with the overall program, areas that needed to be improved going into this season?
Well, I think blocking for sure is one of the skills. I think that's kind of our first line of defense. And I think, we were kind of getting touches on balls, but maybe weren't taking away angles and certain shots the way that we needed to be. So we've kind of spent a lot more time on that this season. We also have some height this year that we haven't seen, with Missy Mizell returning back to the program and freshman Liv Allman around that 6 foot, maybe an inch or so above 6 foot. That's definitely helped having some height. So we're definitely trying to become a little bit stronger on the blocking end of things, which makes it much easier on the defense as well.
9-match winning streak as we visit this morning on the show. So you're really putting things into a different gear now in the middle portion of the season, aren't you?
Yeah. We, started out, we were playing competitive, but we dropped a few matches, in that Branson tournament. We lost to Springfield Catholic in the semis after winning our pool. And we dropped that set, if I remember, maybe 25-27, that third set that would have allowed us to advance on in the tournament. And we were up 24-20 or 24-21. We had another match that was very similar with Camdenton. We were up on them, and then we just couldn't finish, and so dropped a close one there. I think it was 14-16 was that end of that fifth set. So, we took some kind of hard early losses early on. But now, we're kind of doing the things that we need to do to become finishers, and kind of put those close games away. So like we had that match against Webb City Republic just last week, 5-set, and we did come out on the winning end, but, did what we needed to do with some high pressure situations.
Talk about your senior group, your nucleus, your core of your upper class group that really kind of sets the standard for everyone else.
Yeah, these kids, they expect a lot of themselves. They're friends, not just on the court, but they're friends off the court as well. The 6 of them, they've been playing together since, probably the 4th, 5th grade. And so, they just kind of keep building that kind of team atmosphere. And then they, kind of rally behind our younger kids as we have, a couple or a freshman and a couple juniors also in our varsity mix. And so, they love the game. They practice hard. They're a great group to surround myself with every day. And, I think the program in general really looks up to these kids and what, they've given to the program. And so, just been a great bunch of seniors.
As a coach, you always try to hold your group accountable, but is there accountability that filters down from your upper class to the lower levels to really try to help them live up to the standard that's been set already?
Oh, yeah, sure. We kind of talk to our seniors and say, hey, like, it's your job to set the tone for practice. When you guys get out there, make sure that, our conversation is all volleyball related and, not talking about what they're dressing up like for the football game on Friday and things like that. So we, encourage our seniors to really kind of set the practice tone. And, they have big expectations for themselves and the way they conduct themselves and really do a good job of setting example for the young ones in the program.
Talk about your coaching staff, your assistant coaches that help you.
Yeah. So my JV coach, head assistant is Sarah Mather. She's in her 3rd season with us, believe, and, former player. So just kind of having that relationship from the past, she brings a lot of energy. She's very passionate about the game of volleyball. And I think, kind of portrays that on to the kids that she's coaching. But she's a great help. Really glad to have her part of the staff. Also, Corey Johnson, she heads up our freshman team, also another former Lebanon player and, had a great career as a Yellow Jacket herself. But, she kind of brings that kind of gritty, competitive energy, to our program because she was a pretty big competitor as a player, but really enjoying having her. And she's in her 2nd season here. So glad to have her back in Lebanon as well. And then also Leslie Huff. So she is kind of a volunteer coach. She just helps out with a lot of things and a lot of things that people don't see. She's very good at helping keep me organized with some paperwork and spreadsheets and things like that. But since her daughters now have kind of they've graduated and are no longer in the program, I just get her part-time, but always glad to have her around as well. And then Avery Hayes is back for just an internship at the hospital. And so she comes in and volunteers with us as well. She finished up her collegiate career at Stevens College last year. So I do get her sometimes a couple days a week, and it's nice to have her input. She was playing at a high level and kind of focusing in on our setters, especially since that was kind of her expertise. So glad to have her around.
Has to be gratifying to have former individuals that were in your program that have come back to help you out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It just kind of, you become family with these people. You spend a lot of time with them. And so it's really nice to have them want to come back and, give back to a program that they were part of. So, and for me, it's a lot of fun to get to, kind of extend that relationship far beyond just those 4 years.
Do you also have the coaching stability that stretches down to the middle school level for you?
Yes. So we've got this year 4 coaches at the middle school level, which we've never had before. It's always just been 2. But we've got Madison Matthews. It was Madison Day, a former Lebanon Yellow Jacket volleyball player as well. And Bailey Riggs Mitchell, also a volleyball player. So they kind of head up our 7th and 8th grade team. And we've got Peyton Kincaid. She was a standout Camdenton athlete. And we're glad to have her, within our middle school program. And then Hava Yesva, she's a former player as well. So she's going to school here in Lebanon and volunteering to work with our middle school kids too. So it's a great setup over there, having 4 sets of hands with those kids. The fundamentals are so important, and that they get a great experience so that they still love the game and they come up to that freshman level.
Of course, your hands are full coaching the varsity and the JV. Your plate's pretty full, but do you keep tabs on what's going on at the middle school level also?
It's very hard. We did have a middle school night at the high school the other night and had our middle school kids come, and we have a night, I believe, in the middle of October that we're going to get to go watch them play as a program as well. But it is very hard because we play many times the same nights of the week. So they do, communicate with me through some text, and they've got a middle school Lebanon Volleyball Facebook page that they post on. So I get to see updates a lot of times through that as well.
Coach Jenny Collins of Lebanon Volleyball, our guest on Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV. We'll take a pause, be back with more in just a moment. Welcome back to Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV, brought to you by Mercy, by Jacket Nation Sports, by Ginger's Wellness, and by Mid-Missouri Bank. Lebanon Volleyball is our topic this morning. Coach Collins, we have one of your seniors as our first guest this morning. That is Morgan Durbin. How about a word about Morgan?
I'd say Morgan's our spark plug of the team. We're always going to get high energy with Morgan. She makes us laugh. She's a fun one to have on the court, but at the same time, she knows when she needs to focus in, and sometimes we reel her in and it's like, okay, it's go time now. She's ready to go, and she competes very, very highly. But she does bring a great element of fun to our team.
When did you first get interested in playing volleyball, Morgan?
4th grade, we had club synergy team. I was doing cheerleading actually before that, and I wanted to try volleyball out, and 2 of my best friends over there played it with me, and we kind of just started out, and it was started at club synergy, and then from there we played at the middle school level, and then we played on a club team together, and me, Addy, and Saylor played on a team out of Springfield, and then now we're just kind of doing high school. So yeah, playing here.
What does it mean to be a senior in this program and kind of see the end, the finish is coming up in not too distant future?
Yeah, it's sad, especially because I've kind of made that decision. I don't want to really play at the next level, but it's sad. But I'm glad that I feel like I've left a pretty good representation of Lebanon volleyball, and I feel like I've feel like I've just done good. I don't know.
Any memorable moments for you on the volleyball floor or off the volleyball floor with your teammates?
Yeah, so definitely my sophomore year, whenever I had to step up and play in the Hillcrest tournament, we had won that whole tournament. We beat Webb City. That was a good win for us. And then this past year, our senior year, we won the Hillcrest tournament again, beat Webb City, and we got Beat the Road t-shirts. So my freshman year, I came up with this. We do a quote every year. It's on the back of our shirt. So it's with each other, for each other this year. But freshman year, Coach Collins asked, and I said, I think it's Be the Road. I just said it, and I thought it would be good. And ever since then, Coach Collins, senior year, she said, whenever you're senior, whenever you get first in a tournament, you can get the t-shirts. So I'm going to have a phone call with results later to get these Be the Road t-shirts. But yeah, it's kind of memorable. Bus rides, I always love hanging out. Home games, such a good environment to be around. So yeah.
Are you happy with the way the season's gone so far for yourself personally and as the team as a whole?
Yeah, so I didn't realize that I was that close to 1,000 until that was
1,000 assists.
Yeah, 1,000 assists. So that was a pretty big moment. And yeah, I feel like we're doing pretty good. Our connections, I feel like we've played each team pretty good. So Webb City kind of got us that last week, 2 weeks ago, but I'm glad we came back and beat them in the tournament.
You balance volleyball with girls basketball, so you're a busy person throughout the course of the year, aren't you? How do you handle that?
It really just it's hard. It really is. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but just kind of communication with my coaches, that helps a lot. Just telling It's hard, but
Kevin,
it's good.
she's also on the dream team.
Yeah, I did dream team too, and then track and field. So I like being active, and I think that's what gets me through school too, just constantly doing it. But yeah, communication is definitely a key factor in that.
And time management, obviously.
Yep, 100%. Schedules each week. I make a planner of what I have going on, and I'm very detail oriented. So if I don't do that, it messes up my whole schedule. But yeah, that's what really it comes down to.
Don't want to look too far into the future, but once you get your diploma next May, what are your plans going forward?
Oh, yeah. So either go to OTC for 2 years and transfer to university, but I want to become a physician assistant, degree in biochemistry. You kind of go in that range in the medical field. I'm doing Go Caps right now, so that's kind of helped me see exactly what I want to do in the medical field. But yeah, definitely something along there.
Congratulations on 1,000 assists, and best of luck going forward the rest of the season, Morgan. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Morgan Durbin of Lebanon Volleyball. More coming up in just a moment on Jacket Talk Overtime. Welcome back to Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV. The barbershop is hopping here at Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. Volleyball is the topic today. We've got Addy Rebmann and also Saylor Helton from the Lebanon Volleyball squad. Talk about the season you've had up to now, Addy.
We've had a really good season. It's been really like a testament to the whole team. We've played some new teams that we haven't ever seen before in our career with moving conferences. So we've had to kind of adapt some of our strategies to include more of the team than just certain players at certain positions. So we've had to be really versatile.
Mm-hmm. You like the way the season's trending right now?
Yeah, I do. We've had a good win streak so far. We've won some big games. We beat Webb City, which was a big one. We beat Republic the other day. We've had some big wins. It's been really good.
Saylor, how about you? How's your season gone so far?
Senior season, I mean, it's been great. Being with all these girls again, we've kind of been separated for a couple of years. Some of us have went off and played at a different club team, but everything finally coming back together. It's been really fun. Like Addy said, we've been really successful so far, and so I'm really looking forward to what's to come. We got big games coming next week, and so I'm really looking forward to them. I mean, we play our best games whenever we play the hardest teams.
How long have you been enthused about the sport of volleyball?
4th grade, so 8-9 years. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. What's been some of the highlights you've enjoyed during this course?
Girls, different teams. Addy and Morgan and I all went and played on a national team. I played for a year. Morgan and Addy played for 2. Addy played for 3. But going and getting to experience like the outside world. I mean, we traveled different states and learned like the upper level and going around watching different people, but coming back and bringing what we learned to the table, to our home team. That's like one of the greatest things. So they learned off of us of what we learned. And so it's just been, that's been one of my favorite things, is just helping everybody, being together again.
Addy's father, Shane, is the head track coach at Lebanon. I had a chance to visit with him quite a bit during the course of your recruitment and where the places you were going and the schools you were interested in. And then it came down to Pittsburgh State. What factored into that final decision to commit to Pittsburgh State?
Well, I went on a visit in August of last year, and I got an offer out on my visit, and then I knew as soon as I was on campus, I was like, I could really see myself being here. I could see myself being happy and successful here. And I kept trying. I was waiting to see if there were some different options, but whenever it came down to it, I was like, I knew where I wanted to be from the moment I stepped on campus. So it was just being ready to make that next step. And I'm super excited. I can't wait to get on campus.
Not too far from home either.
Yeah, no, it's great. I've driven there a couple times, and it's been pretty good.
Anything in particular that you want to pursue as far as the major is concerned in college?
I don't know yet. That's one of my goals to figure out this year, so I'm not going in blind, but I don't really have any idea right now.
Saylor, how about you?
Major-wise, for years I could told you that I wanted to be a vet, but then this year Go Caps has kind of helped me out and kind of paved a pathway for me. And so, after going different places and kind of figuring everything out, I'm thinking nursing and then maybe eventually getting my PA, like ER and stuff like that. But I also think it'd be super cool to be a flight nurse. And so pursuing that degree, staying home close, is kind of where I'm leaning right now.
Have you centered on a university or school that you're going to attend?
I've been accepted into Missouri State. I found out about Missouri Southern today. Jury, I was accepted. And so those are kind of my top 3 right now. OTC, if that works out too. But I mean, right now, as of today, I'd probably say Missouri State. It's kind of where my dad went there. And so I just kind of want to follow in his footsteps.
How do you balance athletics with schoolwork and getting that all done?
It's hard. It's always been hard, but building a relationship with your teachers is kind of one of the main things. Like, hey, I got a game tonight. I'm going to do my best to get this turned in. But if something happens, like, I just know that you can trust me and I will get it done.
Addy, how about you? How do you balance everything?
Well, I agree. It's definitely really hard. But, like, if you come to one of our home games during the freshman and the JV matches, you'll see varsity players, and even while we're playing sometimes, you'll see people working on their homework while also cheering on their teammates. So being able to, even if you don't want to do it, being able to say, okay, I've got to get this done, because school comes first and then it's sports. You got to keep your grades up to be successful on the court.
What kind of goals did you two set for this season for volleyball?
We always are aiming to have a 20-plus win season, which we're on a good path for that right now because we've got a couple more regular season games and we've got a tournament. So if things are trending the way they are now, we should be on that track. And then we've got rivals always. It doesn't even have to be Camden, but Republic's always a big game for us volleyball-wise. Kickapoo this year is going to be a big game. So being able to take those important games that we've been so competitive with over the years, those are our big goals, at least for me.
I think also, 7th grade, 8th grade year, actually even before that, we went to 6th grade regionals. And so we knew then that we had something special and that we wanted to carry this on. And so Coach Collins always knew that we were going to be something great. And so we want to make sure that we put an impact on it. And one of our main goals is to win districts. Mm-hmm. And that starts by knowing these teams, beating these teams, finding out weaknesses, watching film. Just the typical game day strategies. But, winning districts would be awesome our senior year.
Thanks for the visit, both of you.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Congratulations on the season so far. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Addy Rebmann and Saylor Helton joining us on Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV. Back to wrap it up in just a moment. We are back on Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV. It's been great to have Lebanon Volleyball as our guest this morning, and we're going to wrap things up with our 3 special guests from the LHS Volleyball squad, Addy Rebmann, Saylor Helton, and Morgan Durbin. Addy, a word from you about these 2 teammates, some of the things that you've enjoyed about them.
Well, I can't do anything that I do on the court without them. I can't get my goal and kills if I don't have Morgan sending me a ball, and I can't pass as well if I don't have Saylor talking next to me. So we've kind of always had this trio, whether it's been through club ball with Synergy or with any other team. It's kind of always been this trio, and they're really fun. They're my best friends. So
Saylor, how important is chemistry that forms the bond on the volleyball court?
It's so important. All 3 of us, we can be as mad as what we want to be on the court, but as soon as we step off or even on the court, we're hey, we're fine. All 3 of us, we know each other. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses. And so I think it's just knowing each other and having that chemistry, it's so important. And even with other teammates, it's so important. Just knowing everybody, what they need, what they don't need, how you talk to them, and just being there for each other. That is so important.
Morgan, what does this friendship bond mean to you with these 2 other teammates?
It's awesome. Literally, I go to them for everything. I'm talking school, life problems, volleyball being the subject, but they're awesome. I love them. They're my best friends. I'd do anything for them, and we just have that connection where we can just do that for each other. So, yeah.
How do you all keep Coach Collins on track?
We're a very smiley group, so sometimes during practice we get a little sidetracked, but it's our job to make sure practices are fun, but her job to make sure that we're getting done what we need to get done.
Yeah. We'll laugh at her jokes, too, to make her feel a little better about herself. But
Even if they're not funny.
yeah.
So
Great to visit with all 3 of you. Fantastic season so far. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Addy Rebmann, Saylor Helton, and Morgan Durbin, our guest, along with Coach Jenny Collins today for Lebanon Volleyball here on Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV, brought to you by Jacket Nation Sports, by Ginger's Wellness, by Mercy and Mid-Missouri Bank. Join us Friday night, Lebanon football against Nixa, 7 o'clock at Jacket Stadium. Join us right here on Jacket Nation Sports and LEB TV.